Welcome to another edition, a home-based edition of the ASUN Gameday Podcast. We are back here at home base in Atlanta, Georgia. Jordan Griffitt, joined by ASUN William and Big Daddy D, Mike DeVader. Here, we got to start like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You need something cooler than ASUN William, though.
Yeah, that didn't.
I'm Big J Journalism. I left that out. I'm Big J Journalism.
Yes, you
That's kind of me now.
Just skipped yourself.
Sir William. I mean, I don't know. We gotta find a podcast name for you.
I didn't know we had podcast names, but apparently we do.
We must be done with basketball because we're not making any sense already.
We're off to a tremendous start, just like we were live on site. Want to go ahead and extend our gratitude to everybody that was able to watch on those last two live podcast versions. So we had one for the men's and for the women's. We broke triple digits for both of them. An incredible scene that we were able to display on both sites. It was beyond fun being able to travel around, watch both those finals in person, and be able to interact with a lot of fans and to see a lot of fan engagement on Facebook and YouTube as well. So appreciate everybody tuning in. We got some incredible feedback from the ASUN Gameday Podcast. But we're back. We're finally stationary. And, boys, how we feel after championships? It's not over. Championship season's over. But the basketball season's not over.
No, the basketball season's not over. We're still
just getting started.
You could say that.
Yeah.
You could. I
did.
You did. So I guess you're very optimistic that we're just getting started. So that means that next week we'll still be talking about all these teams. Because we got, just on the men's side, we got 5 teams playing postseason basketball. I feel like we got, there was, excitement for the men's game. Our men's champion was unexpected to some. Some picked them preseason.
To some,
So that was.
I don't need to take another victory lap here.
We did that.
I already did that.
On the women's side, the
Can I take a reverse lap for my prediction pregame?
I went out on a limb. I was on that limb with you.
Yeah, we were.
It didn't take long to start feeling kind of shaky. FGCU just did what they do. So I feel good. I feel like it's exciting. We got through another season of men's and women's basketball. Postseason, tournament time is here, so it's exciting. But I feel good. I feel like we accomplished something. We got through.
We got through.
ASUN wins.
We got through, and we're gonna have a alternate version of the podcast talking about spring sports, but not yet.
We're version.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing, but hey, we just
transition.
We're shifting gears. It's alternate.
All right.
I mean, what would you call it? It's not the same.
It is the same.
We're not talking about the same stuff.
We're the same but different.
Sure.
No?
I'm really glad we could get into that.
Yeah.
Mike, how you doing? Haven't talked yet. This keeps happening.
I'm still tired. I'm not gonna lie. The flight back was amazing with everybody at 6 a.m. It was really nice to see everyone on the airplane. Glad we got home before craziness at 8 a.m. Not knowing that we left 78 degrees to come home to 40 and rain, which was great. But it was a fun trip, long trip, exhausting trip. Got to the end, which is the best part. And I did end up picking FGCU to win the championship live on the court there. So
what a brave soul.
Things went pretty well for both the context of men's and women's basketball because we picked the right ones for the championship. And obviously, still can't go 3-0 against somebody picking when there's only 3 people picking. So you 2 picked Liberty. It's only fair that I pick FGCU.
Is it?
Yeah, because otherwise all 3 of us lose, and we get feathered and tarred off the court. So.
Yeah, if all 3 of us would have picked Liberty, that would have been. You know how on NFL shows they all pick the same one. Of course, they all end up losing.
Yeah.
But let's unpack that game a little bit. FGCU taking down Liberty, 84-60, and we talked about X factors going into that game, and one that I highlighted for FGCU was the assist number. They averaged 17.9 going into that game. That was good for 9th in the NCAA in the entire nation. The Eagles passed the ball among the best. They ended that game with 18. I did not think that they were going to be able to get to that number. I believe I said 14 or 15 would have been the number just to be able to squeak in a win. They didn't just squeak in a win. That was a dominant performance, and really what happened. And if you were watching that game, and if you were like us, you were courtside, it was that second quarter that really took the wind out of the sails for Liberty, because at the end of the first, it was a 1-point game, 17-16, and then a 21-12 second quarter. That's when the shots started to fall for FGCU, and the turnovers started to pile up for the Flames. And when both of those things are going in FGCU's direction and going away from you if you're the Flames, that's when things can get ugly. In my opinion, that second quarter is really where that game wrapped up.
Yeah, it was really different to me. And overall, watching the game in person, what I said was, obviously I was wrong, but I think I mentioned that I thought that Liberty had the size to compete down low, and that was not the case in that game. I mean, I guess the size was still there, but the energy was on the FGCU side, because it seemed like every shot that FGCU put up that did not fall, they were getting another one, because they were just crashing the boards, and they were just pulling down rebounds. I mean, the rebounding total was 34-25 in favor of FGCU. So
right. It also just felt like every time it felt like a concerted effort for Liberty to go with their game plan, which is let's slow it down, let's dump it into the post, and let's go let those tall players work in the post. But as soon as they did that, there were 3 Eagles swarming for that basketball, and next thing you know, they rip it away. Next thing you know, they get it hit a 3 on the other end, they get an easy layup. It just felt like the rhythm, when it was in Liberty's hands, it wasn't there for very long. And then again, it was quite literally ripped away by the FGCU Eagles. And that game plan that Coach Smezko put in place, it was perfect. I don't think you could have drawn up. And they missed some easy shots, too. Like, they could have won by more. The FGCU could have played a better game, but their game plan was, A+.
Well, and I think coming into this game, they, along with everybody there, knew that they hadn't played very well in the championship so far in the 2 games that they hosted on their own floor. You saw a team, or I saw a team before you guys got here, that I'd never really recognized before watching FGCU play. They weren't playing good offensively. They were out of sync. They were missing easy shots. They weren't playing together. It was really strange to see everything that led up to that game. And then post-game, they really did flip the page and talk about how much they really wanted to face Liberty again. So in my head, I'm kind of thinking, well, maybe that was a factor, but you think you're trying to win a championship regardless, because what if you don't even play them? But then all of a sudden, they really turned the game on against Liberty when they saw that the last time they faced each other, they lost this team, and they didn't give any other team that chance to beat them the second time in the league. So the crowd was a huge factor. I thought the crowd was amazing. The energy level was so much better on both sides, from the crowd and FGCU in general, from the 2 games against Stetson and Austin Peay. So I think that played a big factor. Obviously, when you're up by 2 with like a handful of minutes left, 4.5 minutes left, and then you're up by 10 at halftime just like that, that's going to give you a lot of momentum. But FGCU in that third quarter and the fourth quarter combined in the second half for 8 of 13 from three-point land. So when you shoot 50% from 3, but also you're shooting 8 of 13 just in the second half, even as more offensively powerful Liberty's been this year, they can't compete with that. And I think once that monsoon of threes in that third quarter, the second quarter run into halftime, then they hit all those threes in the third quarter. They were 4 of 5. Fourth quarter, it was already done.
They never let up.
Yeah.
It never felt like, once it was in their hands, I never watching it, I'm never looking at this like, oh, here comes the run. I think once they, at halftime, and they had that lead, I was feeling like, okay,
it felt secure.
Yeah, they're not going to, I felt like they wouldn't let up, and they didn't. They pushed it, I think, at one point in time, it got to 20. They weren't going to let what happened at Liberty happen to them again. They weren't going to make the mistakes that led to an overtime. Let's just handle business.
Yeah.
It looked very much like business. They had business to take care of it. They took care of it.
And speaking of business, they were all business even in their celebrations. Yeah, they celebrated, right? They had a good time. but it wasn't as drastic as what we saw like on the men's side for Kennesaw State. They had never been there before. FGCU's there every single year, and you could tell when they're stamping the ticket on there, or they're holding up the trophy, they're taking pictures with it. There is the excitement there because you deserve to take any victory lap you want when you win an ASUN title. But there was that sense of, well, we've been here before. You could tell. You could just, the energy was a little different. Yeah, and not a bad way. It was just they're expected to win there. Yeah, that's just what it is.
We this was our expectation. We did what we meant to do.
Yes,
and there's not a lot of people anywhere except for you and me that thought that they wouldn't do that. So but I'll take the preseason though. Preseason, I was right. I just got swayed.
Yeah, that's the one that really matters.
That's the one that really matters is preseason pick. The one you do on the court before the game, that's just...
It's really hard,
that's
though.
That's just for their cameras.
Yeah.
It's really hard, though, to not... I guess a lot of people could misunderstand why you guys made those picks, but the facts of what we watched compared to... When you compared both teams, there was no doubt that Liberty was playing better. Yeah. There was no doubt that Liberty was coming in with more momentum. They had 16 games in a row. FGCU had won almost the same amount, but they're pouring it on these teams late in the year. They're destroying their opponents in the conference tournament.
That Liberty Lipscomb game, they were so. I mean, the pick now feels like looking at their game, how could you pick them? Look at what they did to them. But before that,
I mean,
Liberty looked like a problem.
Liberty looked like they were playing their best basketball of the year, and FGCU coming off Austin Peay's game. It looked like they might have been playing, which, I mean, they're always winning, but it looked like they were playing their version of their worst basketball of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. But that's kind of the reasoning that was kind of behind our picks. I'll take this time to apologize to FGCU and Coach Smesko. Listen, you win this many straight titles, you don't deserve the disrespect that I gave. But I mean, listen, we're trying... First of all, I legitimately believed in that pick. I really did. I thought that the trends were going opposite directions, and I thought that they would intersect on that night. That clearly did not turn out to be the case. Wanted to pick a new story, right? Something different. And, Coach Mesco don't care about that.
Nah.
Char Morris don't care about that.
Yeah,
Emma List don't care about that.
Yeah.
And made me look stupid, and that's fine.
Emma List was a huge part of that game. In the very beginning, she controlled almost the whole thing.
Yeah. She was.
Yeah, she had 5 steals. Yeah, 5 steals, 7 assists, 16 points, and ended up on the all-tournament team playing 37 minutes. And then what's so dangerous about FGCU is that in a game like this, you had 14 points from Antonucci coming off the bench, 3 of 4 from deep, and then you have Briley Bartram, 19 minutes, hit 2 threes of her own, scoring 8 points. Like two players that you probably weren't relying on coming into that game come out and absolutely show out. And then you only got 2 points from Eliza Winston.
And you dominated that game.
and you still dominated.
And Styles didn't play either.
Right. I mean, there were a lot of different components that FGCU did not execute 100%, and they still beat them by a considerable amount. That is what's so scary about that team. 84-60.
I said it got up to 20. I forgot the final score. It was 24. So of course it got up to 20.
It got to 20 at some point.
Yeah, at some point. Yeah. That's where it was when the game ended. So that's how it goes.
It's almost like the regular season, though. You get that one win. You have to have a chance to prove that you deserve to beat them to win the regular season trophy. Nobody could beat them that second time. FGCU gave other teams opportunities to beat them in the tournament.
Is that one? Liberty just got their one. They probably would have switched the one they could have got. They got their one early.
You said it when it happened, too. Yeah. You said, hey, this is how FGCU's always been. They let you get the one.
You get one.
Last year was Stetson.
Yeah.
Toward the end. This year it was Liberty. And just so happened that Liberty ended up in the final. And, I fell for it. I was like, hey, there's something
I should have stuck with my guns because you already got your one. They're not going to give you 2.
Right.
They don't give anybody.
They don't give anybody 2.
And 2 in the same year? You asked for a lot. I mean,
and Austin Peay the door was open for Austin Peay.
Yeah.
They played great defense on them. It looked like FGCU was out of sorts. They were rattled. They couldn't score. I mean, they barely hit 50 points, and that's usually a halftime score. What was the halftime score of this last game? 38? That's still almost to what this last game was against Austin Peay, where they struggled so badly.
Yeah.
And Austin Peay just couldn't knock down the three-pointer that really put them over the momentum edge against FGCU. And then there was that one chance. You're not going to get the second game I didn't think they were going to play bad again, but man, they just grabbed momentum in that game against Liberty, and they never let it back.
Yeah, no doubt. And you look at that Austin P game, and Austin P, a team coming from the OVC last year, had an incredible year. It just came down to missing shots there at the end. The defense was there all season, but they will be back next year, and I expect them to make another tournament appearance here in the ASUN. All right, we unpacked a bit about that women's final. We talked a little bit about the men's at the women's final, taking the victory lap. Kennesaw State beating Liberty. Now Kennesaw State getting their bid, the 14 seed. They will take on the number 3 seed, Xavier. We got a couple people going up to that, don't we?
A couple people.
Yeah, to the Liberty game as well. Or to the FGCU game as well.
Yeah. We'll be in the building.
We're still traveling. Like I said, championship season may be over, but our basketball season is not.
No, it's not.
Yeah, we will be on site at Greensboro, but not for a live podcast, unfortunately. Although I don't know.
Kind of out yet.
NCAA, we might have to get in Emmert's ear. Is he retired yet? I don't know. Not sure.
I'll keep up with that kind of stuff. I'll stay in my own lane.
Yeah.
I run this lane that I'm in.
You run the lane.
Yeah.
But I think a favorable draw for Kennesaw State playing in Greensboro, North Carolina. But we also have some other teams on the men's side, William, that are in the postseason play, don't we?
And I think we talked about it throughout the year. I think several coaches have hinted to it. Our commissioner has hinted to it. This season of men's basketball was probably the deepest that we've had. I mean, we said it all year. So, and I think there's proof to say that out of our 10-team tournament field that we have for our championship, 5 teams made it to postseason basketball. Like half of our field is still playing. That's pretty good. Mm-hmm. We got Kennesaw State obviously punched the ticket to March Madness. They're playing Xavier on Friday. We've got Liberty, who at the time of recording this, they're playing tonight in the NIT first round, hosting Villanova. Their first time in the NIT, our runner-up, player of the year, all-time scorer. Then you've got the CBI tournament game that's starting up in Daytona Beach on Sunday. Well, Saturday and Sunday. On Saturday, we've got North Alabama playing, and on Sunday, we've got EKU and Stetson. So, 5 of our 1 through 6 of our seeds in our tournament, they're all playing postseason basketball this week. Yeah. So, I mean, that's exciting for us, just as a conference that we've got.
Right.
That we're that deep.
It's one thing for us to be echoing that sentiment all year long and saying, hey, this league's talented, this league is incredible, it's deep. It's one thing for us to say that. It's another thing for everybody else to notice that and to finally take action and say, hey, okay, listen, maybe not in the NCAA tournament, even though I think Liberty had a case. I mean, there's a lot of great teams that got left out, but they had somewhat of a case to get into the NCAA tournament. They go to NIT, and then you have the CBI picking up 3 other ASUN teams. That's incredible. I mean, for the men's side to get so much representation because we've been talking about it all year long, and also the teams that are represented. Where were they picked preseason? That was a fascinating segment that we did on the first live podcast, the preseason poll versus where these teams ended up. EKU, they were picked around 9th, I believe. Stetson picked nearly dead last. North Alabama was picked to finish last, and all those guys made it.
They're still playing basketball.
They're still playing. Kennesaw State wins the conference. They were picked 8th by the coaches.
Yeah, this was a year to quiet a lot of people and to show that that doesn't mean anything. The preseason poll, we don't need that.
Yeah,
it means nothing.
Even though we had the votes in the media poll, I would love to get my ballot back and see how wrong I was.
I can find it for you.
All right, let's look it up.
Yeah,
not right now.
Not right now, but
we'll do it offline.
I'll do some research for you. Now I'll show you where you were and see.
I know I was definitely wrong with North Alabama and Stetson, for sure.
I'm pretty sure I was. Also.
I was wrong with Jacksonville, and I was right with Kennesaw State and EKU and Queens. That might be about it. Everything else might be dead wrong. But hey, that's why you do the preseason polls, and that's why you look back on them and make fun of everybody for it.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, what we got on the women's side? We got FGCU facing Wazoo in the first round, and who else made it from the women's side?
Yeah, and real quick, touching on what you guys just did with the standings, Austin P was one of those teams on the women's side that was picked very low, and here they were having a chance to play for the finals. So that was real good start to league play. First year for the Governors, so congrats again to them. Yep, and like we said, NCAA tournament action for our champion FGCU. They're playing 5th-seeded Washington State. They're up in Villanova, actually, so there's a little connection there because they're playing in Pennsylvania on 2:30 Eastern time here this weekend, so that'll be really fun. Hopefully they can do back-to-back years of 12-5 upsets since they beat Virginia Tech last year. So that would be exciting for the FGCU Eagles. And then Liberty as well. They're back in postseason play with the WNIT once again. They're on the road to Bowling Green, so they'll be taking on the Falcons on Thursday compared to what we're recording right now. So they play Thursday evening, and then FGCU this weekend on the 18th. So 2 teams on the women's side, both have a chance to win some more games in advance. So very exciting for those 2 teams in the postseason.
Great to see a lot of postseason action here in the ASUN. But right now, we have a special treat for you. We got a hold of the future commissioner of the ASUN Conference. That is Jeff Bacon when he stopped here on the ASUN Gameday Podcast. Welcome back to ASUN Game Day. Jordan Griffitt, William Hall, and we have a new special guest here at the table, Jeff Bacon, soon to be commissioner of the ASUN Conference. Jeff, good morning, and I appreciate you stopping by the podcast.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, glad to have you. Glad to have you. I mean, we're doing good with guests, but we always take it to the next level. every next podcast,
I'll try to step up to the plate and do what I can.
We're on a roll with guests, just like you said. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Ted Gumbart, longest running commissioner in ASUN history, obviously has broken a lot of records in that standing. But you being on this podcast just this once, you've tied Ted for the most appearances by an ASUN commissioner on this. How does that feel?
That feels great. It's nice to have one record under my belt.
Already, right out the gate.
Yeah, now you got to bring me back a second time, though, so I can own it outright.
That's the plan.
Oh, yes.
We'll make that happen. That's easy.
I think you're going to shatter that record. Yeah. No problem. I don't think there's going to be a problem with that
at
all.
It's a low bar.
Right.
Well, again, appreciate you stopping by the podcast. We're going to have our 6 degrees of Bacon today, of Jeff Bacon, not Kevin Bacon. But, I mean, that leads me into my first question. What percentage of people, I mean, we already made our first reference to Kevin Bacon, make some sort of Bacon or Kevin Bacon reference when they meet you?
As 100 probably, 100%. The best part though is when I look at him in the face and tell him, yeah, he's my cousin.
That's perfect. That's
the
great.
facial expression really ties it together. Yeah. I mean, you can really run with that one.
Yeah, I know him. Of course I know him. Why wouldn't I? How many Bacons do you think there are in the world?
True.
You fooled me. Yeah. You fooled me for sure.
Second question. We got 21 sports sponsored here in the ASUN.
Yeah.
If you're an ASUN student athlete right now today, what sport are you playing?
Well, let me preface this. So I'm from Ohio, right? So it's cold and windy and snowy. So I definitely got to go outdoor down here.
All right.
Right. If you're asking me this question in Ohio, it'd probably be a different answer.
Yeah. Take advantage of the weather. Yeah. We get it.
But yeah, I mean, you got to be outside. So I'd probably be out on the Ball Diamond and playing some baseball if I could. Get some good travel out of that. Some good trips those guys get to take. And
true.
Nothing like 7 hours on the baseball field on a Saturday.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What position will you play?
Oh, I'd pitch for sure.
You'd be a pitcher.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Put the ball in my hand,
Yeah.
I got you. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's
Take advantage of the weather. I mean, slinging that thing.
I mean, they'd have to be okay with someone throwing at 72, but if they are, I'm in.
It works.
Yeah.
We'll make it work.
All off speed. Yeah. You don't need the heater. Yeah. All off speed.
That's overrated.
Right.
Who needs that?
Our third degree. If you weren't in your current role, what would you be doing for a living?
Oh, gosh. We've all done this for so long. It's really a hard thing to think of. So I've got a musical background a long, long time ago that I put on the shelf that I'd probably try to dust that back off and be a failed musician, busking on the streets of Nashville or something. That's probably what I'd be doing. Failed musician. That would be my career.
Okay. Failed musician.
What
Failed.
kind of musician were you?
Well, I sang a lot. I tried to play some guitar to hold my own on the stage with my friends, but that's about it. A little piano, mix it up. Again, this is why it'd be failed. It's a little bit of a lot of things,
okay. All right,
nothing that good.
In this hypothetical scenario, we're all successes. So I think that would be a successful musician.
Successful musician.
Thanks, guys. You'd put $1 in my bucket. Right?
right. Of course. Absolutely. Fourth degree.
I love the degrees, by the way.
We gotta keep rationing it up. You know, we're going. So you mentioned baseball.
Yeah.
You are a pitcher, but you know, you have to step to the plate every now and then. You get called in. So what's your walk-up song when you're coming out? When they know, he's swinging the bat now.
Or even even like a boxer. You come out, you walk out and like you're captivating
You're right.
the audience.
Boxers have great walkouts.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
I
coming
just
to the
watched
ring.
Creed 2 the other day, and they got some good ones.
I hadn't seen it. How was it?
You gotta check.
Have you
that
seen
out.
3 yet?
No.
We're trying to go as a conference whole to go see Creed 3.
We're trying to
You
pull
gotta see
this off.
2 first.
Oh, I've seen 2.
Oh, I thought you said
I've seen 2.
Oh no, 3. Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
We're Creed guys.
Yeah, that's good. That's good walkout music. And you know, so I mentioned I'm a Cleveland Guardians fan, obviously, born and raised in Cleveland. And there's a guy that plays for them. I don't know what he'll do this year, but last year, and I will answer your question, but his walk-up song was SpongeBob SquarePants.
Really?
Greatest walk-up song I've ever heard.
That's
I mean,
gotta
the
be up
whole
there.
stadium is singing SpongeBob SquarePants when the guy steps to the plate.
That's pretty good.
So it was pretty good. I wouldn't do that, but mine would definitely be Even Flow by Pearl Jam. That's my all-time favorite song. So
Pearl
I'd do
Jam.
that.
Walking out.
And coming from a successful hypothetical musician, that means a lot.
Hypothetical failed / successful musician.
My next one, and a question I love asking people: if you had one day to spend doing anything, and money, location, none of this was a factor, what would you be doing?
So my family we are a huge theme park family. So Disney, Universal Studios, all that stuff. So there is no doubt if we had a chance to do anything for one day, that's what we would do. And it doesn't matter which one.
Okay.
Any of them's fine.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But
There's a Six Flags in Georgia.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
It's a good start.
I'm in.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a good start.
We'll get season tickets.
There you go.
Yeah, the pass works.
Yeah.
That'll be great. So our last question is
Degree.
Our last degree.
We should stop calling them questions. These are degrees.
Yeah, these are degrees. So the final degree, we'll switch it around.
All right.
You have a question for us?
I do have a question for you guys. And what I'd like you both to answer for me is just tell me, what do you guys love about this league?
Well, I guess I'll give an answer from working in the ASUN, just from the office point of view. I think from even in our department, the ability to just be creative and just, hey, you guys want to do something, try it, see if it works, try to make it work to just promote our student athletes, all our member institutions. I think this podcast is an example of that just we got a chance to go with it, and I think it's still pretty good. I mean, you see what we got here with us?
You got a failed musician to show up, so you're on your way.
So I think
it's cousins.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon's cousins here, so we're doing pretty good. So I think that's one thing that I really enjoy is just that freedom to just grow and be creative.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm very much in the same boat there, but also looking at, I think my favorite part about the job specifically is what we're doing right now, which is traveling, showing face on campuses, being part of fan bases for 14 different teams. I mean, that's something that not a whole lot of people can say. And you look around the league, and every school has their own thing. That's what I love so much. I'm a Kennesaw State grad, so obviously, have the tie right there. Lipscomb's in Nashville. I mean, you have some former D2 teams. There's just a lot of diversity within the league, and being able to travel to each one of those. I mean, I hope I get to all 14 sooner rather than later, but that has definitely been the best part of this job.
That's awesome, guys.
Yeah. Or you could be a failed something.
Podcaster.
A failed podcaster.
Failed podcaster. I don't know if people put $1 in the bins for failed podcaster. You can try it.
Everyone's got a podcast now, so maybe people ought to start trying doing that. Yeah. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for joining the podcast today.
Thank you, guys.
Look forward to the future here in the ASUN.
Appreciate it. Looking forward to it.
It's going to be great.
Thanks, fellas.
Thank you. Championship action is when the ASUN is at its finest. That's why you'll want to visit asunphotos.com. ASUN Photos is present at every ASUN championship, capturing the action, including those must-have shots you may have missed or want to save for a memory. We understand your passion, So when you want to relive those favorite moments, players, and special memories, start with the experts from asunphotos.com. Welcome back to the ASUN Gameday Podcast. It was incredible to talk to future commissioner, soon-to-be commissioner, Jeff Bacon here on the podcast. And guys, it's time. It's trivia time. We're back with trivia. I feel like it's been gone for almost a month. It probably has been gone for almost a month. We've been so spread out.
Mike, it doesn't hurt my feelings.
I think we're on to something. We got failed musicians as a potential career path. We got failed trivia question answers.
Yeah.
Do I get paid for that?
We don't know. We don't know. We're trying to map.
Maybe when we get a sponsor.
So if I go on Jeopardy, I'm just terrible. It's because these guys hired me to answer everything wrong, so they get it right.
Yeah, or you could just like be on the side of the road and be like, "Hey, ask me anything."
That's wrong. You owe me $5.
Yeah. Here's a wrong answer. Give me $5. I take PayPal. Yeah. All right, moving on to our trivia. Me and William are tied up 3-piece. Mike's still looking to get on the board. All right, here we go. When a dog has a diagnosis of, quote, Frito feet, their paws have what? Is it A, a crusty-like texture, B, a terrible odor, C, a brown discoloration, or D, make a crunch noise when they walk? Frito feet.
That sounds disgusting.
Well, there's not really a good option here, so it is disgusting.
Having dogs growing up my whole life, I'm really disappointed in myself that I don't know what this means.
That just means your dogs were healthy and they didn't have Frito feet.
They didn't have Frito. So good for you.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you and your dogs.
Thank my mom for that one, because it's her idea to take care of them all. So.
It's an anti-Frito feet DeVader household.
Thank goodness, because, man, that would probably stink.
Is that your guess?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's mine.
That's funny.
That's my guess.
Is that where you're going with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Terrible odor.
All right.
D is so bad, it's probably the right answer. But
make a crunch noise when they walk. Oh. How do you... I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
so we have... you currently have dogs, Mike?
yeah.
Okay, so 2 current dog owners, a new dog owner,
Yeah.
and
I got the
have any of these things happened to your dog?
Nah, we not at the Frito feet.
Not he's too new.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zeke, you have a dog?
In Texas?
Never
Fasika
mind,
has
never-
a dog in the
never
Midwest.
mind.
That
Never
doesn't
mind.
count.
No. Do they like Fritos in Texas?
They do, sadly.
Connect to some
Probably
dots.
make Frito pie out of that.
Are you locked in at B?
Yeah, because I've been like I've actually heard somebody say like dang, your feet smell like Fritos.
What?
Yeah.
To a person?
Yeah. Like, man, put your shoes back on. I smell Fritos. Nah, seriously, like that's. I'm
All
just
right.
saying, like I've heard that before.
All right.
Not about dogs, just like people like, man, your feet stink, smell like Frito. It's like bad. That's yeah.
Mike?
Well, unless your dog wears shoes, I doubt they can put those away and put them somewhere else. So probably going to have to not pick B. Since discoloration is spelled randomly, I'm not going to pick that one.
Okay. Listen.
He's coming at you.
Oh, my God.
Looks like this.
Is
This
Oh.
DISC.
No, we're not getting into technicality. You know what?
Oh, my
No, I don't want to hear it. You know what I meant.
I just can't imagine the dog walking on the sidewalk and hearing crunch noises. So I'm just gonna say A and hope that it's not D.
Locked in here. A and B?
Yeah, I'm going with the terrible odor.
Okay. One of you is correct.
Oh, so you don't get a point.
I do not
So
get
that's
a point.
established.
Yep.
Either Mike is on the board or I took the lead.
Are we putting resignations on the line? No, just kidding. I'll be out the door already the way this is going.
Mike,
I lost.
you are still not on the board.
I freaking told you.
It's B.
Man, don't be doing that reverse stuff on me. I knew I lost.
It is B, and you're right. Man, put your socks back. You got free of feet. All right, let's go do it.
We got a meeting at 2 o'clock. Let's go.
Oh,
Glad to be here.
glad to be back.
I'm so happy.
Glad to be stationary here for another episode of the ASUN Gameday Podcast.
Yep.
And we'll see you guys next week.
If you want $5 for a wrong answer, give me a call. Gotta go. Peace.